Namaste. Good morning, you guys. I'm excited to practice with you. So, I guess I want to start off briefly. I'm not going to talk too much. I can do that a lot. With yoga is a practice of focus and concentration. So we get what we attend to. We get what we focus on. And I think right now, and often we get sidetracked by focusing on what we don't want, the problem. So when we practice yoga regularly, we're able to hone in our focus and concentration. We're able to, moment to moment, day by day, direct our mind in that in which we want to see, to be visionaries, to keep our attention on what we want, not what we don't want. Right? And it's a practice, you guys. And so let's practice together. So all you need is someplace to lie down. If you have yoga blocks or straps, grab them. If you don't, I'll give modifications for everything. And let's start in child's pose. So forehead can come all the way to the floor. And if the forehead doesn't reach the floor, you guys feel free to stack the forearms and rest the forehead on the forearms. So you want to find a very comfortable position. If you need to widen the knees, you guys feel free. If child's pose is miserable, please take care of yourself. Lie on your back, put your feet flat on the mat. So find a very comfortable, restful starting position. And then close your eyes. And again, if you're in child's pose, allow the forehead to be heavy on the earth or your arms. And just take a deep, full breath in through your nose. And open your mouth, let it go. One more time like that, deep, full breath in through your nose. And open your mouth, sigh it out. And see if you can close your mouth and just breathe in and out your nose. So do the best you can to shift your attention to your breath and let your breath be in and out your nose only. And then notice the length of your breath. So you guys, I do suggest counting with numbers from the beginning of your inhale to the end. And from the beginning of the exhale to the end. So noticing how long your breath is now, both the inhale and the exhale. And we'll do that for a few cycles of breath. And then whatever you noticed in your breath, however long your breath is in this moment, can you just lengthen it a little bit? So you're going to add a few seconds on to the inhales and a few seconds on to the exhales. So making your breath a little longer than it was when you started. And then notice, you guys, every time your mind goes somewhere else. Because that's what the mind does. The mind wanders. The mind goes in its own direction. And notice that it's gone. Notice that it's not, you're not attending to the breath. You're somewhere else. And just gently guide yourself back to the next inhale or exhale. And you guys, again, it's a practice. Over and over again, we'll bring our attention back to the next breath. And then finally, see if you can deepen your breath. So feel the breath in the belly. Feel the breath in the side body. Feel the breath in the back body. Feel the breath in the chest. Long, deep, smooth, full rhythmic breaths in and out your nose. So we're creating a quality to our breathing. Again, long, deep, smooth, rhythmic breaths, the best you can, in and out the nose. That one, keep us attentive, keep us present, give us something to attend to. And two, calm the nervous system. So those of you joining, you're starting in a comfortable rest position, either child's pose or on your back. We're lengthening and deepening the breath the best we can. And then from child's pose, let's reach our arms out in front of us. So take the hands about shoulder width apart. Really spread your palms, push into the hands, and feel the hips rebound back towards the heels. So it's a very small shape, and we're looking to create some space. Take 5 full deep breaths in your child's pose. If you're on your back, just hug your knees into your chest. 5 full breaths. Feeling a subtle amount of space or stretch. Lift your forearms. Feel some space across the front shoulders and chest. And then one more full breath here. And then gently come on up to all fours. Take your hands right underneath your shoulders and knees right underneath your hips. And we're gonna link our breath and movement together, you guys. So on an inhale, you're gonna lift the chest and the tailbone. And on an exhale, you're gonna round your spine. Again, inhale, pull the chest forward, tail lifts, go at your own pace, your own rhythm. And exhale, round your spine, allowing the head to release. Back and forth, you guys link your breath and movement together. Make your breath as long and deep as you can and allow your movement to coincide with your breath. And then one more. Slide the shoulders down the back, opening your chest. And this time, curl your toes. Lift your hips, and we're gonna make our way back into a downward facing dog. So ideally, you're trying to flatten your back and lift your sit bones. If this doesn't work today, you guys can widen the feet and bend the knees in order to really lift the hips. If you can straighten the legs and keep space in the spine, do. Notice the quality of your breath. Lengthen and deepen the breath. So the breath, 1, keeps us present, you guys, and 2, becomes a barometer to let us know how far to move into the shapes, into the asanas, right? So we want to strengthen, we want to take care of ourselves. Yoga is a practice of self-care. We want to strengthen the muscles, we want to stretch the muscles. And we want to find that place in the shapes, in the poses, somewhere between not enough and too much. Right, so that's honoring yourself, right? You want to take care of yourself, but if you push too hard, we're no longer taking care of ourselves. So we go as far into the shape as we can today with a calm, deep breath. And if we find we're losing the quality of the breath is no longer deep and calm, we modify, right? I'll give tons of modifications, or we just rest until we're able to come back with a deep, full, calm breath. Let's take 3 more full breaths in downward dog. Again, if you need to drop the knees and rest at any point in time, you will. And then inhale, you're going to come forward to plank. So right into a push-up position. And if this is too much, you guys today, just drop your knees and you're going to repeat cat-cow, that last exercise we did. So on your next exhale, you're gonna pike back into downward dog. And again, if this doesn't work for you today, drop your knees, do cat-cow. Inhale, move. And exhale, move. Lift from the sit bones. Back and forth with your breath. Breathing in, the chest pulls forward. And breathing out, pike up and back. 3 more. Take care of yourself. Work yourself. Challenge yourself without losing the quality of the breath. So we work hard without overwhelming. And then final one. And then pause in downward dog. Again, if you need to bend the knees or widen the feet, you will. Notice the quality of your breath. So you guys, the asana practice is meant to challenge us. It's meant to make us stronger, right? But if we push too hard and we lose the quality of the breath, we're overwhelming. We're creating stress and tension. So stay in the shapes as long as you can. Challenge yourself with that deep, full breath. And what we find when we stay in the challenge and we calmly stay in the challenge is that we're resilient. Even if it's just in a yoga pose. And then gently walk your hands back towards your feet. And fold forward. Again, if you can straighten the legs, you will. If it's too much today, bend the knees as much as you need to. Widen the feet as much as you need to, till you feel like you get a release in the upper back and neck. Go ahead and cross the forearms and let the upper body hang. Notice where your awareness is. Notice where your attention is. And bring it back to the breath. Long, deep, smooth, rhythmic breaths. And if you're not feeling any sense of release in the middle back, you guys do bend the knees more, do widen the feet more. Allow the head and neck to drop, give into gravity for a moment. Two more full breaths. And then let the arms drop. And crawl yourself back out to a downward facing dog. Spread the fingers, melt the chest back. Really feel the upper arms, you guys, the upper arm bones that meet the shoulders, and feel those guys roll away from the middle. So you're widening your collarbone, creating more space in the head and the neck. And let's all come down to the knees. Take your shoulders over your wrists, and we're going to scoot the knees back into a modified plank. Just because it's modified doesn't mean it's too much easier. Right, so I'm trying to be a straight line. People have a tendency to kind of leave the tushy way up and or drop the tushy too far down. Try to flatten the space in your hip socket. So it feels a bit like you're pulling the pubic bone forward, kind of up towards your chin. So yes, that's your lower belly. How's your breath? Where's your attention? And then on an exhale, you're going to lower halfway down to Chaturanga. So you're trying to keep your shoulder in line with your elbow joint and your elbow directly over your wrist. A lot of us have a tendency to push back, pull forward more. Keep pulling your pubic bone up towards your chin. Take one more full breath, you guys. And lie all the way onto your belly. Ground the top of the feet. Make sure, again, the wrists are underneath the elbows. And on an inhale, pull forward and up to cobra. Just the upper back moves, you guys. And exhale, roll down. So move with your breath. Rest anytime you need to. Inhale, pull forward and up to cobra. And exhale, roll down, engaging the lower belly. Again, really traction your spine. Pull the chest forward. So think less of up, more of space. Feel the space of the spine. And then rolling down, navel lifts, pubic bones anchored. 3 more. Keep the top of the feet grounded, all 10 toes. Keep the lower back long. So we're just moving the upper middle back today, you guys. Breathing in for now. And breathing out. And one more. Breathing in, come to cobra and pause. Again, lengthen the tailbone. So lift the lower belly more. So because yoga is about balance. And in the body, I'm asking you to balance out the muscular skeletal system. So I'm asking you to not use the lower back as much because most of us overuse the lower back. So lift the lower belly, pull the pubic bone into the floor. And feel that you're rolling your shoulders onto your back and bending more from your thoracic spine. So I'm trying to get you to move where you don't move. And then if you can, you take the arms out to the side. Take a breath in. And on an exhale, turn your thumbs up to the ceiling. So this is called shoulder rotation. Inhale, palms face the floor. And on an exhale, we roll the thumbs up to the ceiling, widening the chest. Again, inhale, palms face the floor. On an exhale, my shoulder joint rolls and my thumbs turn up to the sky. 3 more. Feel, you guys, that your middle is engaged. So you're anchoring with your lower abs, not your lower back. And 2 more. And then final one. Thumbs turn up to the ceiling, hold and breathe. Can you lengthen the back of the neck? And can you pull your rib cage and pubic bone towards each other? So again, you're bending from the thoracic spine. One more full breath, protecting the lower back, moving where the body doesn't want to move, finding balance in the body. Interlace the hands behind you, and we're gonna add a shoulder stretch. You guys, if you can't get your hands back there, you can use a strap or you can use a towel. 5 breaths. So again, try not to overbend the neck. We tend to overbend the neck and the lower back. Look down with the eyes, lengthen the neck. Pull the lower belly in, lengthen the tailbone. And again, pull your shoulder blades onto your back so the knuckles will go back, the chest goes forward. I'm feeling and creating space. If I'm not feeling space, you guys, I need to change something. I might need to lower. I might need to release the arms. 2 more full breaths. It feels like sensation. It may feel like work. And it feels intuitively like space. If that's not what's happening, change something. 1 more full breath. And release. Ground your hands. Press back into a child's pose. Round your spine. And take a few deep full breaths here. See if you can feel more breath in the back body, more breath between your shoulder blades. And if you need to stay in child's pose a little longer or a lot longer, feel free. If and when you're ready, curl the toes. And let's come back to a downward facing dog. A few deep breaths. So the intention in the body is space. If it doesn't feel like space and it feels like compression, skip it or change something. I give lots of modifications. Bend your knees a whole lot. Look forward and step your feet up to the front of the mat. Now, feet can be together or they can be hip width apart. On an inhale, we flatten the back and lengthen the spine. And on an exhale, we fold forward. Again, inhale, flat back, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold forward. So if you need to bend the knees to get the spine long, you guys please do. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold. Hands can be anywhere. They can be on the legs, they can be on the floor, they can be on the hips. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine. Get that spine long. And exhale, fold. Final one. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine and pause. So similar to the work on the belly, you guys, a lot of us overlift the neck, right? Because the eyes think that they're helping. Look down, lengthen the back of the neck, and feel your shoulders on your back and your chest forward like we did on our belly. So you're feeling the idea of the chest, the sternum, the breastbone, pulling to your chin. The sit bones point straight back, and if that doesn't work, you guys bend your knees. 1 more full breath. And release. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach arms overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer. And pause. Take a full breath here, breathing in. And breathing out. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, stretch, take up space. And exhale, fold in half. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step back to plank. So you can be in a modified plank with the knees down, or you can be in a full plank. Slide the shoulders down your back. Take a deep, full breath in. And on an exhale, bend the elbows halfway down to Chaturanga. Pause. Lift the belly, lift the shoulders. Either lie on your belly for cobra or come to the top of your feet. Inhale to open the chest. And exhale, make your way to downward dog. And we'll take a few deep, full breaths here. Notice the quality of your breath. Lengthen and deepen your breath. And if that's not possible, you guys back off a little bit, modify. Right, the moment you've lost the quality of the breath, we're no longer present. We're no longer taking care. We're creating tension. The opposite of what our intention is to do. which is to release and let go and feel good. One more full breath in downward dog. Inhale, your right leg lifts up behind you. And exhale, step the foot all the way up between the hands and come into a runner's lunge. So your hands will be on either side of the front foot. And you guys, if you can't reach the floor, you can use blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can stack books. You can use animals. Dogs and cats are useful. Do what you can again to flatten the back. Inhale here. And exhale, try to straighten your front leg. And it doesn't matter if you go 1 inch or all the way. You do what you can without losing the quality of the breath. Inhale, bend your knee. And exhale, extend. Inhale to move with breath. And exhale, extend. Back and forth. So you guys do what you can with that long, deep, smooth, rhythmic breath. And notice when the mind pops in with labels and judgments about what you can or can't do. And just dismiss it. And come back to the breath. And back to the movement. And know that you're doing the best you can. And one more. And then bend your front knee and pause. And we're going to go into a twist. You can keep the hand on a prop. If your hand, your inside left hand reaches the floor, you're going to touch the floor and you're going to roll your right arm up. And if this is too much, you guys just drop the back knee on the mat. Totally okay. Right? Too much is if the breath is compromised. Right? If it doesn't feel like space anymore, it feels like compression, the breath is tight, it's too much. You've gone too far. Right? If you can maintain the deep breath, even though you're feeling sensation, even though the sensation may be uncomfortable, we stick with it, right? As long as we can breathe through, we stick with it. Slide the shoulders down the back, open the chest, one more full breath. And hand comes down. We're going to roll the back foot on its side, about a 30-45 degree angle. We're still trying to level the hips, so we're still trying to pull that outer left hip forward. My front knee stays over my ankle, and on an inhale, I'm going to come up to warrior 1. Hands come to prayer. Again, interlace the hands behind you, and if that doesn't work, you guys grab a prop. Big inhale, chest lift, so you can be holding a towel or a strap back there. And on an exhale, we're going to fold forward. So you're going to lie your torso or attempt to lie your torso on that front thigh. Let the head drop. Keep lifting the knuckles, opening the chest. 5 full breaths. Feel the weight in the back foot. Feel the inner edge of the back thigh or leg roll back. So the inseam of my back leg rolls back in order to keep pulling that outer back hip forward. 2 more full breaths. Let the head and neck release. And final breath. And then release your arms. And inhale, come back up to warrior 1. Turn the back heel up. Lean forward. And most of us are going to want to take the arms out to the side like airplane wings. We're going to try to stand on our front leg. So this is called warrior 3. I don't have the space out to the side. There you go. So if you need to bend the bottom leg, you will. How's your breath? If you fall down, you fall down. If you have blocks or props or something to hold on to, feel free if that's what you need today. And just breathe. Again, feel the movement, feel the constant movement. Notice the quality of the breath and continue to lengthen and deepen your breath. So again, we use these asanas, these postures, to challenge ourselves, to grow, to evolve. Can you stay calm in a challenging situation? Notice when the judgments come up, let them go. One more full breath. And hands come down. They either touch the floor or props. Tilt forward a little more. Keep some energy in that lifted leg. Few breaths here. Allow the head to drop, keep the shoulders lifting, come back to the breath, over and over again.
Notice when the mind goes, notice where the mind goes, and come back to the breath. And if you need to come out early or rest, you will. And just keep the quality of the breath. Two feet down. Drop your head and chest. Take a full inhale. And a complete exhale. And then inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine. And exhale, folds. I'm going to stand all the way up. Inhale, reach overhead, stretch. And exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach up overhead. And exhale, fold in half. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine. And exhale, step back to plank. If plank is too much, drop your knees. If you want to go straight to downward dog, you will. Otherwise, take a deep full breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows halfway down to Chaturanga, pause. So you can lie on your belly or come to the top of your feet. Inhale to back bend, create space. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep full breaths here. So remember, you guys, when we were on our belly and we did what's called external rotation of the shoulder. When we are weight bearing, it's super important that the upper arm bones roll away from the middle. It'll take the pressure out of the wrists and the neck. One more full breath here. If you need to rest, rest anytime. Inhale, left leg lifts up. Exhale, step all the way up, find that runner's lunge on the second side. Use props or blocks if you need them. Lengthen the spine, open the chest, take a deep full breath in. And on an exhale, try to straighten your front leg. And you may just go an inch, and that's fine. That's enough. Inhale, you're getting the benefit. Exhale, extend. Move with your breath. Breathing in. And breathing out. Again, breathing in. And breathing out. So you might not be with me, you probably won't be with me. You're going to again link your movement and breath together. 2 more. And then bending your front knee, pause. We're going to keep the right hand flat on the floor. If you need to put it on books or blocks, you can. Left hand up, rotate your spine. And if it's too much, you guys put the back knee down. How do I know it's too much? It's too much if I'm holding my breath. It's too much if I can't keep my attention here, on the breath, on the sensations. So we're feeling sensation. That's part of stretching. That's part of strengthening. Be with the sensation. Meet the sensation with a calm, smooth, deep, full breath. And if it's too much, we back off and recommit to the breath. Right? The breath calms the nervous system. The breath creates peace. The breath keeps us present. One more full breath here. Hand comes down. Back heel spins flat, so it's about a 45-degree angle. So we're trying to keep the hips facing forward. And on an inhale, come on up, warrior 1. Exhale, hands to prayer. And if you can, you grab your hands. If you can't grab your hands, you grab a strap or a towel back there. Inhale, lift your chest. And on an exhale, we're going to fold over the front leg. If you can let the head hang, you will. If you feel like you're going to topple over, don't worry about it. And lengthen and deepen your breath. Right, if it's too much, you can let go of the arms. If it's too much, you can always put the back knee down. 5 breaths. If you've got the hands, work the arms. Pin the shoulders together on your back. Feel the space in the neck. Three full breaths. You can feel the outer edge of the back foot grounded, the back inner thigh rolling back. And One more full breath here. Let the arms drop if they're not already. Push a lot into that back foot, you guys. Big inhale coming up, warrior one. Roll the back heel up, start to lean forward. Now if you want to make it more challenging, the arms can stay out in front of you. If you want to make it a little easier, the arms can come out to the side, and we're going to try to balance on that front leg for warrior three. So if you need to bend the standing leg, you will. If you fall, just get up and keep on trying. Let go of the labels, let go of the judgments, let go of the glory. Just be in the practice. Staying calm as we balance via the breath. Staying calm as we fall. Getting back up, trying again. Over and over, bringing your attention back to this moment. Back to this breath. One more full breath, wherever you're at is perfect. Hands will come down, body will fold forward. Lift that lifted leg a little more. Again, if you need to bend the standing leg, you guys please do. A few breaths here. Feel the shoulders lift, the head and neck release. And if it's too much, you bend the standing leg. If it's too much, you stand on 2 feet. Challenge yourself. Be in the discomfort. Feel the discomfort. Be there with breath. Calm, deep, smooth breath. And if it's not possible, change something. One more full breath. Feet down. Inhale, flat back and lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, stand up, reach up, take up space. Exhale, hands to prayer. Full breath, breathing in. And breathing out. And let's open out to the side, wide legs, wide arms. So if you can, get your feet all the way underneath your wrists. Notice the length of your breath here. And we're going to move into warrior two. So let's start on the right side. The thigh bone turns out, which turns the knee and the toes. And if you can, the back foot actually swivels forward a small amount, maybe 10 degrees. And then bend the front knee and see if you can manage to get that front knee over your front ankle. Keep reaching through the arms. And breathe. So if you guys want, you can gaze over the front hand. I'm going to look at you, why not? And let's take 5 breaths. So feel the rotation in the front thigh. Feel the front inner knee roll to the outer knee. The front outer hip hug in. So it's an opening across the hips and the groin. Feel the back leg, you guys, and the back thigh pull straight back. So in yoga, you guys, in the asana, in the postures, I'm always asking you to take 2 body parts in the opposite direction. Right, so my front knee is rolling open. If I just roll my front knee open, my back hip starts to turn forward. So as I roll my front knee open, I'm pulling my left, my back waist, back. And when I do those 2 things somewhat equally, in unison, I create space. If I do one more than the other, I end up with compression. I know, you can feel it, so can I. One more breath. And then on an inhale, let's straighten the front leg. And exhale to bend your knee. Breathing in to move, go at your own pace. And breathing out to move. 3 more. Breathing in. And breathing out. 2 more, breathing in. Breathing out. And final 1. Bend your front knee, come into your warrior 2 and pause. So keep the fluidity in the breath. I think you guys, the reason flow yoga is so popular is because it teaches us to move with our breath. I think it's easier for us to maintain that fluid breath when we're moving. And can we be still and maintain that fluid breath? Feel the front inner knee roll to the outer knee. Feel the outer hip hug in. And pull the top of the left thigh back, right? So we're opening the groin. Arms are going to come out in front of you, palms turn up. Left arm underneath right. Cross what you can. So this, you might end up here. You may be able to double cross the hands. We are still in the legs, you guys. Lift the elbows and drop the shoulders. Pull the forearms forward and pull your upper abs and ribs in and back, right? So same opposite directions. Hang in there. 5 breaths, you guys. Hang in there. So as I pull my forearms forward, I'm pulling my upper ribs in and back. Again, 2 opposite directions. As I lift my elbows up, I'm dropping my shoulders down. 2 opposite directions. Find these opposing actions equally in your body. 2 more breaths, you guys. And you don't have to stay because I told you to stay. You do have freedom of choice, guys. You can straighten that leg at any point in time. Final breath. Release the arms. Inhale, straighten your leg. Turn your toes in. Take a breath. If you need to rest the arms, you will. If you can keep the arms up, you will. Work hard, calmly. Put in the effort. Do the work without strain, without tension. The breath will help you with that. The breath will do that for you. Left leg turns. So I turn from the hip socket. My back heel will swivel back slightly, and I'm going to make my way into warrior 2. So if I can get my front knee over my ankle, I will. If I can't, I won't. I just go as far as I can today, and that's perfectly enough. And you guys, today for you is going to look nothing like anyone else. Today for you is going to look nothing like it did yesterday and nothing like it will tomorrow. This moment is this moment. Tune in enough, pay enough attention to yourself in this moment that you can take care of yourself, that you can be kind. Roll the front inner knee to the outer knee. Hug the outer hip in. And at the same time, if you'll have you just do that rotation in the front hip, the back waist starts to roll forward. Can you pull the root of the back thigh back? Lift the waist, lengthen the tailbone down. And reach through the arms. Reach just as much through the back arm as the front. Feel the space across the shoulders, the space between the collarbones. And on an inhale, straighten your front leg. And on an exhale, bend your knee. So move with your breath and move in a range of motion that is enough for you now. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out, soften the breath, soften the shoulders. So we're holding the arms up. There's energy in the arms without tension. 2 more. And then final one. Pause in your warrior 2. Keep feeling the wrapping of the front hip, front inner knee to outer hip in. And pull the right waist and thigh back. Feel the tailbone lengthen down. And then arms come out in front of you, palms up. This time we'll go right arm underneath left. If you don't get your hands all the way wrapped, no big deal, just do what you can. The elbows lift. And the shoulders drop. The forearms pull forward. And the upper ribs and abs pull in and back. If you need a break, you simply take it. 5 breaths. Be with the sensation. Notice where the mind wants to go. Notice what comes up. And come back to each breath. Lengthen and deepen the breath. 2 more full breaths here. If you need a break, you take it. 1 more breath. And release the arms. Inhale, straighten the leg. Turn the toes forward. Take a big breath in, reach your arms up and overhead. And exhale, fold forward. Wide leg forward, fold. Let the head and neck release. Long, deep, smooth, rhythmic breaths. In and out your nose. You guys notice how many times the mind goes somewhere else, right? You're like, hey, body, mind, we're just trying to do yoga here for an hour. And over again, we have to bring our attention back, right? So it's a practice. The more we practice, the easier it gets to hold our attention on whatever it is our goal is, whatever our focus is. One more full deep breath here. And then come on up to a flat back, lengthen your spine. So again, if you guys cannot get a flat back here, which is a lot of us, you're gonna have to bend the knees a little bit and or put the hands on something. And let's inhale, rotate the spine. And exhale, hand comes down, moving with breath. Inhale, rotate the spine, slide your shoulders down the back, maybe look up. And exhale, hand comes down. Breathing in, widen the chest, widen the shoulder blades. And breathing out. Again, breathing in. And breathing out. One more each side, breathing in. And breathing out. And final one. And when you're done, back into that wide leg forward fold. Allow the head and neck to release. Back to the concept of balance in the body. Can you feel just as much weight bearing in the toes as the heels? Can you feel just as much weight bearing in the outer edge of the feet as the inner edge of the feet? Standing equally in all four corners of the feet. Right, so we play with these concepts in yoga in the body, you guys, so we can take them outside of our practice, off of our mat, into our life. Right, everything in moderation. If we do anything too much, it's too much. Even sunshine burns if you get too close. One more full breath here. Let the head and neck release. And then we're going to make our way back into a downward dog. And take a few deep full breaths. Sit bones lift. And then inhale, right leg lifts. And exhale, step the foot all the way forward. This time we will drop the back knee down. And if your back knee's a little tender, you may choose to roll your mat over, double your mat over, and pad your knee. Hands will be on the inside of the front foot. And just allow your hips to melt forward and down, feeling that deep stretch in the hips. And if you want to go deeper, you guys, you can take your forearms down onto the blocks or even the floor if that works for you today. Notice the quality of your breath. Over and over again, bring your attention back. So I think there's another reason we do very vigorous asana, right? Like a very vigorous posture practice in yoga, and that's because it keeps our attention, right? If you have to balance on one leg and your thighs are burning and you have to hold plank and chaturanga, you're there. You're there, or you're not there, right? It doesn't work if you're not paying attention. But when we get into some of the softer practices, more of the practices, the slower shapes that take less effort, what I find in my own practice is my mind will wander more. So it actually takes more practice to keep my attention here in the body and the breath when I'm not working so hard in the body. We're gonna add on, if you choose, you can stay right here. If you like, we're gonna swing the right hand around, so its opposite hand is back leg, and I'm going to try to fish for that foot. And if I can't find my foot, I can use my strap or a towel, or I can just completely skip it. I am going to rotate my chest, so I'm going to turn my chest in the direction of my front leg, rolling that top shoulder onto my back, and I'm going to continue to lengthen and deepen my breath. So you guys always moving mindfully and slowly into the shape, so you are able to pause before it's too much. Breath by breath. Being with what you're feeling. Using minimal effort to be here. And staying attentive on the breath and the sensation in the body. And if you need to come out early, feel free. We have 3 more breaths. Roll that top shoulder onto your back.
foot, release. And we're gonna make our way into an outer hip stretch pigeon if it works for you. So you're gonna walk the front foot across your mat. And if this bothers your knees, you guys, I'll give you something else. No pain in the knee. And rock your body forward. So again, if you're feeling your knee, we're gonna do something else. If your right hip is nowhere near the floor, you might choose to stick a book, a blanket, a towel, a dog, a cat, underneath that right hip. Again, if you're feeling it in the knee, you guys, you're gonna lie on your back and do this one instead. Ankle over knee, hold on. So you wanna feel a pretty big stretch in that outer right hip. So get into whatever shape is gonna work for you in this moment for your hip stretch. Use as much support as you need. And then soften. Do the best you can to give in to gravity. Those of you in pigeon, the forward fold, let your head rest. Put your head on the floor, on your hands. Close your eyes. Those of you on your back, let your shoulders relax, your collarbone widen. Notice where your attention is. And over and over again, just bring it back to the breath, back to the sensation. And can you guys just be with what is? Can you be in this shape without labeling, without judging, without creating a story about it? Can you let go of any resistance to what is right now in this hip opener? Right, there's the hip opener. And then often there's resistance to what is. Notice if you're shoving and trying to get farther or deeper. Notice if there's ambition, let it go. And again, notice if there's resistance. This fear or holding or not wanting to feel what it is you're feeling. Let it go. Let yourself feel completely what it is you're feeling right now in your hip. Last 5 breaths. And notice where your awareness is. And let your next breath be a little more deep and full. And let it go. And then use your arms, come on out of there. We're going to transition in a downward dog. If you're on your back, maybe just hug your 2 knees into your chest. Or if you'd like to get yourself all the way back up to a downward dog, feel free. And take a few deep, full breaths in downward dog. And then second side, inhale, lift the left leg up. And exhale, step the foot forward. We're going to start in the low lunge, back knee down. Hands on the inside of the front foot. Just allow your hips to drop forward and down. And if you need to double pad that back knee, feel free. Lengthen and deepen your breath. And again, you guys, notice what's happening. Notice very, very subtle. It's such a subtle practice. Notice if you're shoving and pushing and trying to get somewhere. And let that go. That's ambition. That's the American way. We all do it. And notice if you're resisting. Notice if there's fear or tension because you unconsciously don't really want to feel what there is to feel in the hips, and see if you can let that go. So there's a softening.
And just be in the shape with minimal effort and a lot of presence. If you want to add the rotation, you're going to reach behind you with the opposite arm. So it's going to be left arm to that back foot. You're going to turn your body open towards the side. So it's a rotation. Top shoulder will roll onto your back, hips still melting forward and down. Notice the quality of your breath and lengthen and deepen your breath. Feel a sense of giving into gravity, allowing the hips to drop. And notice if you're over-efforting anywhere. Notice if the jaw is clenching or there's any gripping in the shoulders and neck. Allow yourself to release, you guys. It's a practice. First we have to notice it's there. And then we use the breath, the exhales particularly, to feel that sense of releasing, any holding or gripping. One more full breath. Release the leg if you have it. And we're going to make our way into a hip opener. So you guys can do pigeon or figure four. Again, if it bothers the knee, lie on your back. And if your front hip is pretty far from the mat, you can always stick a prop underneath it. And then fold forward. Find your way eventually, maybe not immediately, to rest the forehead on the floor, the hands. So settle into your hip opener, and if it doesn't feel like space, if there's any compression in the joints, change it somehow. And then as soon as you can, give into gravity. Work the least amount possible to be in the shape. Notice if you're over-efforting, let it go. Notice if you're resisting, let that go. And allow yourself to be with what is. So you guys, Buddha says all human suffering comes from resistance to what is. So it's not what is that causes the suffering, it's the resistance, the fighting it. Can you be with the sensation? Can you be in your hip? Can you be with the thoughts as they come and go? Without labeling, without judging, without running away, without holding on to. Last 5 breaths in this hip. Let your next breath be a little more deep and full. And maybe even sigh out your mouth. Feel a sense of release. And if you're not already on your back, you're going to make your way onto your back. And hug both knees into your chest, rounding your spine. And just feel the support of the earth. And continue to soften and give into gravity. We're going to go into our final twist. So take the arms wide and let the knees drop one way. And just let them drop completely. And if it's not comfortable, feel free to put something underneath the knees, a pillow, a block. If you want more sensation, you guys feel free to cross the bottom leg over the top. So it just kind of creates more of a pull in the side body, the waist, the hips. And again, truly give into gravity. So once you get in the shape, be in the shape without doing anything. Simply be. Not trying to get any farther, not resisting the pull of gravity. Just experience what it is there is to feel without labeling or judging. And just notice, just receive the space the shape has to offer. Final breath. And then come on back to center. And second side, allow both knees to drop the other way. And head can turn away from the knees. And let's take a handful of breaths in the second side. Really softening, getting very close to your final rest position. Allowing the spine to unwind. And just being in the shape without doing anything. Letting go of your agenda. Feel what there is to feel. Final breath here. And then when you're ready, gently come back to center. Hug both knees into your chest, rounding your spine. We're going to set up for final rest position. So most of us are just going to lie flat on our back in Shavasana, corpse pose. If you have any pain or discomfort in your lower back, you guys feel free to stack up pillows or a blanket or something underneath your knees so there's no discomfort in the lower back. Make sure you're warm enough, maybe grab a blanket. And so just check in, make sure again the body is very supported and comfortable, and if you're not sure, change something. I'm going to take a final deep full breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. And let go of all efforts, including the breath. Allow yourself to rest fully. No manipulation of the breath. No effort. Let go and rest. And your eyes closed. And staying relaxed. And let your next breath be a little more deep and full. And gently wiggle your fingers, your toes. And when you're ready, slowly make your way onto one side. Hug your knees in towards your chest and pause there for a moment. And when you're ready, if you can, keep your eyes closed and just make your way up to a comfortable seat.
Pause for a moment. Just notice how you feel. Gently bring your hands together at your heart. Bow your head towards your heart. And just take a moment and thank yourself for your effort. All the benefit of the yoga practice comes from your efforts. Never from what you've done, never from the shape of the pose, always from the effort you put in. May all beings everywhere know love and peace. And may my thoughts, actions, and behavior contribute to love and peace within me and love and peace without me. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining. So what if we all had this practice all the time? You know, our yoga practice, you guys, is a practice of awareness, a practice of being mindful of our thoughts and our actions on a moment-to-moment basis. And you guys have been practicing for 20 years, and it's still challenging. Life comes up, and it's challenging to stay focused. And I challenge you to focus on the solution and not the problem. I challenge you to keep your attention on what it is you want to see, not what it is you don't want to see. And from that space and energy, if every single person could individually do the work, their own work, it globally would look very different. So you guys, thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing the work. The work, your work, this work is the answer to our worldly affairs. If you have and can donate to sharednecessities.org, my good friend Arjuna O'Neill has a nonprofit bringing inner peace to the streets. He's opened a community center in South Central LA, offering these practices, they're growing food, they're doing nutrition classes, they're getting school supplies and necessities for children and kids and families that are incapable of doing that. They're teaching mindfulness and yoga and meditation and martial arts, and any little bit helps. It's all posted on there. You can click the links. Thank you guys again. Namaste. Be well, stay focused. Love is the answer. I love you guys.